Hello, everybody. It's Clint. Welcome to Sweetcast. I got to tell you, I have had an absolutely fantastic few days for several reasons. I want to tell you all more, but I'm going to be making more comics, and yeah, I'm excited about it. Monstro miniseries is going to happen. I don't know exactly when. What I'd like is to be able to get things ready and sell them on my own website, which is actually what my video was about yesterday. Selling books on my own website. It's better if I just say it straight out. But one of the reasons also why it's a fantastic day is I'm not sure why, but I got a big bump in Fatal backers. So I really appreciate everybody that has supported me, supported Fatal, and been very patient with Charlie and myself as we are working on finishing up the book. I do appreciate your support, but look at this. We passed $99,000 and we're already closing the halfway point to $100,000, which is simply incredible. And I can promise you that this money is directly going into making the book and fulfilling the book. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really thankful for all of your patience. All right. So what I want to talk about, I actually went on to Kiwi Farms. Every once in a while I go on there. And it's one of those forums that's I don't know you'd call it dank. Is that I'm not up on that. I'm like too normie, I guess, for sites like that. But sometimes they're really wrong about things, and I know because I mean it's like I just know they're wrong, but sometimes they're really right. And one criticism that I saw was, how do you know if DC and Marvel are putting out trash if you never read DC and Marvel? Like, how can you know that they're continuing to put out trash? Good point, but the problem is that you're sidestepping the actual problem, and that is it doesn't matter. All that matters are that there are a large number of fans that have already been burned once, twice, three times, however many times it took, and that damage cannot be undone or not be undone easily. So where are you at? Well, you have people looking elsewhere. Enter TKO Comics. The reason I pulled up TKO Comics, it's only because they're a case study. That is it. If you don't like TKO Comics, that's fine. I bought two of their titles, and both of them were actually fantastic. I really liked them quite a bit. But their model was interesting and different, and I don't even want to get into their model. But what I want to talk about is launching a new publisher. And there are two ways to do this. I think you've seen most people do it the slow and steady way, organic growth, building up and try to build something from nothing, bootstrap technique. But just like with any other company, the other route is to actually just launch the thing, get lots of money and launch it. So it kind of got me thinking, and I did post this on Twitter, how much money would it have taken to launch TKO Comics in the way that they launched it? Now, I have no inside information whatsoever, but I'm going to do a little bit of guessing based off of myself making comics. Now, if you really think about this, TKO Presents is a tiny publisher, really, in the big scheme of things. They made a splash. They were recognized and recognizable enough that a lot of people knew that they existed, but they're relatively new. And, for some reason, a lot of people at least know the name TKO Presents. So how did they do it, and how much money did it take? Well, they started off with what I believe was 4 titles. And those 4 titles consisted of graphic novels and of single issues that were sort of bundled together. Regardless, those books were paid for ahead of time by, I'm guessing, some kind of angel investor, somebody with money, was able to pay for those. Not only that, they were able to pay for their website, which is pretty good. Their marketing, because clearly they had to have had marketing to get the word out so well. And I'm talking about paid marketing. They also had to have distribution, but I don't really think that was all that important to TKO. The fact that they were available, is whatever. But the fact that they were able to sell stuff directly off their website to buyers, to readers, that was really, I think, where they probably made most of their money, I'm guessing. And the other question is, are they making money now, and what would it take? So I actually pulled out my calculator for some of this, and I did some guessing. Now, the 4 titles that they initially launched with, obviously they had to have completed ahead of time and paid for. But that wasn't it, because 6 months later, maybe a year later, I'm not sure, somewhere in that range, they released another set of 6 books or 6 titles, and each of those was made up of 6 issues or one large graphic novel you could choose. But they're basically miniseries, 6-issue miniseries that they were putting out time and time again. And now I have no idea how many they've put out. I know they've also done some of these little one punch knockout shorts. You know, they're like ash can size. They've done several other things. But in this instance, they this was their main bread and butter. I read, and Sarah was quite good. I really liked it a lot. Anyway, so they might have some terrible ones out there. I don't know. I just know the ones that I read I enjoyed. Anyway, so how much money did it take? I'm going to guess that it actually ended up costing them somewhere around $1.4 million. Some people said on Twitter that that sounded high. Other people said it sounded low. I think, if anything, that is actually erring on the conservative side of things, because that is what it would cost to do some kind of a big launch like this. So the question now is, now that the company has been around for, a few years, a few very short years, maybe 3 years, 4 years, I'm not sure. It's got to be 3 years or less, right? 3 years? Anyway, now that they've been around, the question is, are they better off for having done a big launch with all that money, or are they better off if they would have just tried to grow small, step by step, and try to grow that thing? And as I look at it, I don't think it's for everybody, but it seems to me that TKO at least has the name recognition and enough funding to continue to make books that they have the appearance that they're doing okay. The reality is that because they probably had to get funding or do some fundraising so aggressively early on, I'm not sure how long it took them to get profitable, if they're even profitable yet. I'm not sure, because this has got to be taking a ton of funding to be able to have a website like this with selling these kinds of books at the pace that they're putting them out. So would you be better off growing slow and steady? In my case, I think it's not really an option anyway to do a big launch, but I suspect that slow and steady is not bad as long as there is slow and steady growth. Anyway, I would like to know what you think about TKO Presents, or the big launch versus the small, growth model. Big launch, I mean, I would love to see it happen. If I had the opportunity to do such a launch or be part of one, I think it'd be super cool. It'd be really interesting and exciting. But I just don't think that it's realistic, especially not in the comic book industry. Did they somehow spot something that comics was doing wrong, in that they gave you the binge read model, which, it's just, I don't know what the difference is between a single graphic novel or doing the single issues that you choose from. Maybe novelty, yeah, sure. But it's definitely something notable to think about. Anyway, let me know in the comments below. Really appreciate it. Thank you for everyone that has backed Fatal and supported me as a comic book creator. I know that there are a lot of you. I'm going to call you my 300. Those 300 people that really make sure that my books get out there and get supported and funded. I really do appreciate you. And again, do appreciate your patience. This year is going to be fantastic, and I really hope to start it off with fulfillment of Fatal, and then I'll have some really great stuff to come and stuff on my own website. So that should be great. Anyway, thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.